Hello, my name is Luz Mendez. This is my presentation on homeschool connections for ESL 440. In this presentation, I will discuss several topics on how we as educators can better serve our EL students. EL students come from a variety of cultural backgrounds. With that being said, students have different linguistic abilities and educational and socioeconomic characteristics. This means students will need support in order to be successful in the general education classroom. As educators, we need to be aware of the cultural influences, cultural competence, and social emotional needs of our students because they play a big role in how students perform in school. Let's begin discussing cultural influences as educators. It is important to help students obtain knowledge about cultural differences. This will help them work together with peers and solve future problems. Reinforcing positive self-esteem and emotional well-being provide a strong foundation for developing one's cognitive abilities. English language learners come to the classroom with unique knowledge and experiences built upon their first language and culture. Cultural differences can often be subtle. However, they do impact students' learning. For example, learners from different cultures have different views on classroom behavior, such as student-teacher interaction, as well as different views on the value of education. Cultural differences can also affect how students understand the content, because students from different cultures may not have in common the cultural experiences needed to comprehend many texts. Those are some influences the student's culture has on their learning. The next topic I want to discuss is intentional strategies for family and community engagement that support and highlight the assets of home language, communication, family involvement, and culture to build family, community, and school partnerships. Some strategies educators can use are making sure all vital school information is provided to parents in their native language. Also sharing with parents their obligations, such as providing a steady time for their children and limited distractions if possible. When communicating with parents, we need to make sure that we aim for clarity, especially for parents who are new to the English language. Respecting family and their culture is a good way to keep communication as well. To add to this topic on how a community and school can work with families to help them be more successful in schools is by creating parent nights, like a reading night activity or a math night. Also, like STEM night, if the school has the material to do so. Where parents can be given like strategies to help their children in reading skills. It does not have to be just reading. Like I mentioned, it could be math or like healthy family habits at home, where parents can learn to be responsible by creating a steady space for their children. The next topic to discuss is how to create an inclusive school environment. Several ways to create an inclusive environment are by getting to know all your students and establish from day one a tone that is friendly, caring, and supportive. Encouraging conversations that are respectful and equitable between peers. And create an activity where everyone can introduce themselves, say something about themselves, and share something about their culture. Those are some ways to create an inclusive environment. The last point to discuss is how family and community practices have an influence on language learning. Families and communities play an important role in enforcing what students are learning at home and outside the classroom. Organize programs by the community to help students with literacy and academic skills they need to incorporate in their classroom when collaborating in groups with peers of a simple classroom discussion, where students put to practice their English language skills. Having parents and child reading nights and school programs where they integrate English language skills reading, speaking, and listening. These are some ways families and communities influence language learning.